hello, hello. Hey, what's up, man? Can you hear me? Just checking. Checking sound. Sound check, sound check, sound check. Hello. Awesome. Yeah, there's no roadblocks on tonight. So slight delay. Oh, that's okay. Slight delay is fine. Delays different places. It's so bizarre. I'm gonna put this up now just so I don't forget. Hey, Obsidian.
But it
Yeah.
definitely is.
Okay.
Yep.
Crossing the void, beyond the wall of
Which means
worlds,
that I need
along
to
the arc of
be on
time.
and listen and learn and stuff.
Well,
So,
yeah,
yep.
but I bet you there's a
There,
lot of
there's some
It is
aspects to
too
this
easy
I'm
to
into.
say
Yep.
that there is
Thanks,
dark
Troy. There's a
and there
lot
is
of.
light.
I imagine there's a lot
It is
that
too
you
easy to say that there are two sides to every
know,
coin.
and you're just not even thinking
In
about.
reality,
You know.
Mhm.
far worse.
Yep.
For law flirts with tyranny. Chaos invites freedom.
I started.
Evil
Hey, Curtis. I
consumes all
started
it Good.
the reprint thing up early just so I
And
could
those in the middle, they are
get that
worse,
going.
for they know nothing
Um,
but self. the Codex Infernum and the Codex Exaltum, 2 source books that bring in-depth knowledge about beings of all dispositions, from the farthest reaches of the heavens to the darkest depths of wretchedness. Both of these titles come with new,
what's up,
full-color
Keith?
art, new creatures,
So many awesome
new
people
powers
coming
like
in chat. This
possession,
Yep.
is
and a
fantastic.
multitude
Great.
of information providing lore, backgrounds, names.
I
mechanics,
pulled this
stats,
topic right
and
from
much
Mike's
Mm-hmm.
blog,
These
from one of his
incredible
old blog
tomes
posts. It's
are
like over 10
filled
years
with
old.
demons and
Well,
angels,
we've had something
devils,
similar
and
like 3 years ago or
celestials,
something, so it's
unleashing the
definitely something
powers
we
of
should
good
come
and
back to.
evil, law and chaos on your table. The Codices Infernum and Exaltum, bringing creatures hallowed and profane into your adventure.
Mystical,
Pledge and
Mystical.
share
What
today.
happened with tonight? What happened with that? Did they not?
Lord Games,
Join
the fray.
I'm confused. Did they not have a blue box thing tonight? I don't know. I'm not paying. I just can't be. In
I
100
got home
places
so
at once.
late, so I just was in the shower and came out, jumped straight at the desk, so I didn't have a chance to log
I
in
think we
and
got
see
a
if
hype
anyone.
there. Hey! Yeah, I know.
Oh,
that,
okay.
Greg, I just was
Cool
curious
about
as to why. I hadn't talked to. I talked to John yesterday. He didn't say why. So I talked to him really for a while too. That's weird. It don't matter. He's probably away for work or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, probably something's up. It's all right. I'm gonna promote something right off the bat, everyone. Oh, thanks, Fuzz. Thank you. Thank you very much. Awesome. Let's see. It's only 7:52. But we're gonna come on live because me and my brain dead. I forgot to do the entry screen one. With all this stuff on it. I was like, oops, I forgot. So I was like, it was too late at this point. See, waiting Mike. Oh, Patrick, thanks, man. Boom! I'll shameless plug something, too. So we'll stay on this screen for a second, and I'll come live, and whenever Mike hops on.
Yeah.
The giveaway is already going, so I got a pile here, thanks to Patrick, a ton of stuff, including some really good things. Well, they're always really good, but like a ton of great stuff here for the winner. Okay, we're gonna come live. Good to see everyone. Makes me smile. Okay. Here comes Mike. Look at that timing.
Perfect.
Hey, Anna.
Hello.
Good to see you. Mike is hopping on right now as we speak.
Yep,
Perfect timing.
great.
Like we came a couple minutes early, so.
Yep.
All righty. All right. So a couple quick announcements here. Thank you everyone for coming on. Thank you for that clearing level 3 hype train before we even started. That was awesome. So If I see mentally off, just note that, and I haven't announced it to only a few people know, but I might as well tell everyone. A week ago, after 29 years, my company had a mass layoff, and I got in the act. So after 29 years at my company, I got let go. So I am in the middle of.
It's terrible.
It is. I'm in the middle of. I got a lot of old competitors. I had a second interview for one of my big yeah, thanks. But I'll be okay. So just note if I'm acting a little strange, that's what I got a lot on my mind. But other than that, I'm keeping this rolling here. So yeah, it happened the day after like Virtual Greyhawk ended. It was really weird. And remember, I was just don't want to go into.
You were down in Texas.
I
and
was
it
down in
all
Texas
the,
at a special training for
Why
yeah,
would
with like
they
invited
send you
powwow
to
and
Texas?
everything was going on,
Yeah.
and yeah,
crazy stuff. Well,
Yep.
thank
Makes
you
no
all.
sense.
It makes it like companies do shit that doesn't make sense all the time. Well,
well, they
thanks.
do. Yep.
Yeah, but it was 3 decades I was there.
Yeah, West
Curtis.
Coast is
Yeah,
not the only
Curtis. You and I were
company.
talking about a month ago about stuff, and then
Yep.
I hadn't, I didn't think that would be happening. But
Yeah.
trust me, I
You
already
know
had.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, West of the Coast is not the only company that does.
Yeah,
weird
that's
shit
messed
from
up.
time to
So
time.
just
Yeah.
note, I had a second interview already yesterday. So
Yeah.
with my
That's-
top customer back a couple of years ago. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But just note if I'm acting strange. But
There's a lot going on. Yep.
I'm gonna do a selfless promotion for tomorrow night. Normally on Thursdays, it's me and my curmudgeony old white guy friends playing, but not this Thursday. So
Okay.
you may want to stop in on this one. Am I gonna hit the right thing? It can, man. But I got a huge. I'll be blunt. I got a large sevens package at least. So I got. I'm good. I'm good.
It was Children of Cornholio.
Oh, that's the wrong one. That's next week. Oh my God, that's
Oh,
a
okay.
Halloween special. That's next. That's a week for Thursday. Oh my gosh! I put the see. I'm not all there. Holy jeez. So I think you guys would like that. All right. So tomorrow night, the Adventures, the post joust celebration. We all so we all know. Yeah. We all know that Lady Isarel, who played by Bones, won her Grand Champion of Champions, and Heather Hex, playing Viriel House Selman, won the Grand Joust. And by the way, I finally got the labels to put on the there you go, the labels to put on the trophies. I just got them in. And matter of fact, I got them in today. So I got to label them up and get them out to them. So this is going to be what happens that night afterwards. Now, I'd love to have Chuck here playing that drunk Josh Death there, which Chuck's at Gamehole Con, unfortunately. But I have Bones, Darling, Heather, Little Bird, and 2 of my players, Walt and Tom. So it's going to be a fun night on a Thursday. So it's not going to be like the normal Thursday nights, okay? Also, there is very obscure Roger Moore published lore in this adventure tomorrow night.
Ooh.
So that's all I'll say. Yes, extremely obscure. Thank you for that hype train. Really appreciate it. Yeah. So something I really haven't pushed out, but we're going to see some of the inner workings of the dark side of Altamira tomorrow night, with a lot of RP and probably characters hooking up with other characters. And I'm just going to sit by the wayside and watch. Right. So just note that's tomorrow night. That's and then you already saw the Halloween special for. Unfortunately, I messed that up. So is that? Yep, there you go. Adventure 1017, the Post Joust celebration. That's tomorrow night. All right. So there you go on that, and we'll re-announce that at the end too, along with Children of the Cornholio. So I couldn't help myself. We already did an Overgord event, one. I did an Overgord one like 2 months ago. So I'm not. We're going to do, Bill's working on some really great little minis. A lot of them are Christine Van Patten minis. So if you saw the crafting show with Christine, all the stuff she's been doing for like Halloween themed stuff, we're going to be using a lot of it, which is cool. So, all right, Mike. I pulled this right from your blog like 10 years ago.
Nice. 10 years.
Nice. And let's just throw this up. Hey, what's up, Rick? This is where I got this from. Yeah, it was this group here, and I'm like, why don't we just do a topic on all of them? Look at that. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. Perfect. The Long Cloaks of Crestable. Oh my God, it's almost 10 years. It's October 22nd. I didn't even realize that. Wow. Tuesday, October 22nd, 2013, this post. So it's almost exactly 10 years. I don't,
All right.
Mike, if you can link that, that would be great. It's in Greyhawkery. Just go to 2013 Greyhawkery. Go to this Greyhawkery site, and then the years on the right. You can click on 2013, and then go all the way down, and you'll see it. So, what's up there, Les? So the long cloaks are crestable. What was this all about, Mike?
There you go.
Awesome.
Well, back in TUI when I tended to write a lot of background material for my NPCs more than I do today. I don't even remember what the particular quest was about, but there was they were in High Folk. That's right. I was like, they were near Pearland somewhere. The Long Cloaks of Cressable, as their name sounds, they are from Pearland.
Okay.
They are worshippers of Tritherion. Okay. So what I wanted was a foil, some not necessarily villains, but I needed some. I wanted a group that was going to be like chasing the player characters around as they were trying to accomplish their goal, and the player characters, were framed for something. So there was a reason why these long cloaks, who are essentially like
hunters,
vigilante hunters, right?
Okay.
There was a reason why they were after the players, and there was ample opportunity to, there was a lot of role play involved. It wasn't just fighting them. What made it fun was, the players wanted to clear their name, right? And I would even draw up, bounty posters for them and stuff. It was a whole big production. And what made it particularly good was that the leader of the Long Cloaks, which I think, if without looking at
high
the
priest named Kythus Hadron.
Kythus Hadron was particularly the way I played him made you want to hate him, right? So they were good, or rather, they weren't evil, and so my players couldn't just like outright kill them, but I made them really hate the Long Cloaks. Now, Kythus Hadron, in the long run, tied into another adventuring group that I was using, which we can talk about later on. So I had this like whole web of stuff going on. Anyhow, the Long Cloaks of Cressable, I wrote it up there, as you can see, for Greyhawkery. If you want, like I just described, if you want I don't even know if to call them mercenary group, but because you can't really hire them, I don't think.
Well, it says here they were hired by wealthy nobilities.
Okay.
To track down heinous criminals.
Okay, so it's like a bounty situation, though.
Yeah.
They have a specific goal. They're not going to like fight, for Foriandi or Ayus in the wars. They want to go after criminals, and they don't care. It's not up to them to be the jury and and the judge and all that. They'll bring you in to whoever has the bounty, dead or alive, I guess. So I was looking for it's kind of like at that Wild West feel to it, I suppose. And I picked Pearland because they were known for their mercenaries, and Crestable because I knew nothing about Crestable. So I thought I'll just make something from there.
Well, that's what caught me on this, because I always like when we don't have a topic. Patrick, thank you. When we don't have a topic, what I do is I scour Mike's old posts, and come up with ideas. And I love this. I love this article. Number one, because it's cool. Two, because they're not evil. They're kind of good, which kind of good can be not that good a lot of times. Like for example, if everyone knows, Tritherion people and Foltis people, they really don't like each other. At all. So you got a lot of it's not good for versus evil here. It's law or hired guns versus those that are being oppressed for one reason or another. And that's why I liked this completely. And they use parchment wanted posters. It says so. I saw this as the topic, and that's why I use the topic mercenaries and adventuring groups. Because is this an adventuring group? The Long Cloaks probably in a weird way, but they're more mercenaries. You know.
Yeah, they're probably more on the mercenary end,
Thank you,
right?
Bromian.
Yeah, they're not going to chase you into the ruins of Castle Greyhawk. They're going to wait outside for you.
So, what happened?
So, like, what
What
ultimately
happened?
happened?
Yeah, if you want to tell the story. I know you said there's another group. If I don't give it away, you don't have to tell it now.
Well, okay, so as I vaguely remember, there was a couple run-ins with them, and eventually, most of the characters that my friends used to play were also chaotic good.
Hmm.
So eventually, they worked out their differences. They figured out, they were being played or whatever, and then they went their separate ways. So it was just, like I said, a good role-playing opportunity. Now, what tied into a lot of that was the now I remember. This is
It's okay,
all
man.
right. The characters were hired by a bar owner called Gooston Longpike. Gooston Longpike you can find in the city of Greyhawk. I believe it's in the Adventure Begins. He's a canon character who runs the Blue Dragon Inn.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Where's that?
That's in
Uh,
Roger Moore's.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Roger.
that would be in the foreign quarter.
Yeah,
Okay.
2.5.
Yeah.
So you can take a look through
Right.
here.
So I believe that's where it started. So Goose and Long Pike's bar. He is also, and so I worked up this whole thing on Goose and Long Pike. He being I think I pulled some stuff from published source, but I can't remember exactly where it was coming from. I want to say part, like I said, the adventure begins. Part Living Greyhawk dispatches. Those little blurbs I used to have in the Living Greyhawk journals. Because I never played Living Greyhawk, but they would always have these little snippets of
Yeah, in Dungeon mostly.
information. The
Yeah.
dispatches.
Yeah.
Right. So Goose and Longpike belonged to a adventuring group called the Company of the Talon. So now we have an adventuring group, Company of the Talon, which if I can find that is also on
That's awesome.
a write up. Anyhow, Company of the Talon, which I did for Cannon Fire, which I'll put up here. Company of the Talon is significant because Goose and Longpike, now retired bar owner, and Kythus Hadron are former adventuring mates. Okay.
Right.
So one started the Long Cloaks, the other one, bought the Blue Dragon Inn. And then in that article, I have like a timeline of all this adventuring group's exploits.
Nice.
Right. And so, I must have just been on a roll back then because I made this whole elaborate backstory about, a couple NPC former adventurers that were, one was hiring the PCs, the other one was chasing the PCs. And most of the stuff I wrote was probably for my own amusement, but in the end, they made for a couple of good articles.
So, what I find interesting here, Mike, in this, you go pre 570.
Yes. I needed a group with some history to them. That was by the time the players are starting out their adventures, this group had already, hung it up, and like I think one of the characters, actually the reason they went High Folk, I think one of the adventurers had died and they were having a funeral for him. Telvist Lorwyn. There he is. Human fighter from Pearland, Telvist Lorwyn. This is the one I picked up from Living Greyhawk.
Right.
Telvest Lorwyn.
Male human fighter from Pearland. Former Vinter, now deceased.
Yeah. So, I just took some innocuous character, tied together two NPCs, one a benefactor, one an antagonist, wove some story around it where they were running all over the Yaddles and the Vesvi and whatever.
Yeah, they're all over.
Yeah.
So I wish I could remember the entire story. I'd probably, if I go through my old notebooks, I could probably cobble it together.
Oh, then you should make a blog post. No blog post. Yeah.
Thank you, Anna. Anyhow,
that's good.
Fast forward to 3.5 edition. Mm-hmm. I brought back the Long Cloaks.
Oh, okay.
in my Sea Princess campaign. The characters got once again they got embroiled in matters with another rival adventuring group, and once again the characters got a different set of players, so it was new to them. But
Right.
once again I framed them for some crimes they didn't commit, and then enter the long cloaks to cash in on this these dastardly player characters.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love here where it says long cloak crossbows are normally coated with a variety of poisons to slow down or immobilize targets long before going in with restraints.
Yeah. See, back in second edition, I think there was more leeway for coming up with your own house ruling stuff.
Hmm.
Then when we got into 3.5, it was like, I
Yeah.
don't think it was as cool. In 2E, you could just kind of fudge things and create things like that.
2E, we were all over the place, which was great, right? We
Yeah.
were just.
5e had third edition had rules but there were lots of rule options, but you had to have you have to dig into the mechanics in order to create a poison or something.
Right.
So yeah,
The mechanics
5e you can it's a bit more like you have limited possibilities, but you can fudge within a smaller envelope, so
Right.
to speak.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I remember the long cloaks themselves. The cloaks they wore were, I don't know if they were magical or if they were.
They're
It's probably
just
in the article.
symbolic or something, just to.
No. There was
Yeah.
something either magical or something unique about the material that
Uh-huh.
gave them a armor class bonus or something.
Yeah.
It might be in the article. I'm just not remembering. But the cloaks themselves were an item. So if the player's like, oh, I defeated this long cloak, I got his cloak now, +1 AC, let's say. Well, you're wearing they're distinctive. So if a long cloak sees you wearing one of their cloaks, then that's more trouble.
But that's a great start to this.
Yeah.
No, because it's right off the bat, it's something that Mike has documented over the years and showing 2/mercenary adventuring groups that Mike created in his campaign with links to published source characters, which makes it even cooler. And with Gary saying, everyone, make Greyhawk your own. That's what you did. You took something, a little tidbit, and you linked it right to it.
Right.
And that's what's so awesome about it.
And what I think I like also a lot about is it was actually gameplay material.
Yeah.
Which I really got away from doing that. I don't post much gameplay material anymore. I did a lot of that with Sea Princes, which may come up here again later, but
okay.
Yeah, I feel like these days we don't play enough, being more getting older and all that stuff. We just don't put enough into these campaigns to have something as cool as this stuff.
No, it is like I said, it drew me right into this to the saying we need to do a discussion point on this because there's nothing cooler than having having a noted adventuring group. So
I kind of really liked Tritherion. I felt he was an underused deity.
Yep,
especially
very much
in third
underused.
edition.
Yep.
So that's why I had to make a group devoted to him, and I even wrote up another article on Cannon Fire about Tritherion. I'll post this one too. It's semi on topic. It's about it's called the Plains of Retribution. It's from a post fest. So the deity Tritherion has a baton that banishes criminals to a pocket plane, like a prison plane, I guess. And in this article, I have little short blurbs about some of the prisoners on this plane. These would be the type of guys that the Long Cloaks would go after. For example.
Post-Fest 6 Plains of Retribution.
Yeah, back when we did a lot of post-fests and
2006.
Yeah.
Damn.
Old material. I can't believe it.
It's not that old though.
I joined Cannon Fire. I just looked this up today. I joined Cannon Fire in February 2004. So this February will be my 20th anniversary on Cannon Fire.
Nice.
I think I was like 1 or 2 years prior to you.
Yeah.
I think something like 2002
awesome.
or something like that. Yep.
So if anyone can find me and link it in chat, this, because I'm going to talk about this. Let me go to here, and then I will bring it up. Give me 1 second. And that is, and I know someone did just a couple shows ago. Narwhal Mysterious Placers. Okay, which is you all know I love Narwhal. I use the Headhunters in my campaign. One of the most fun groups of all. Just them. It's just so cool because it's like once again, and they're all most of them are Tritherian worshippers. So that's pretty ironic that we're talking about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I got
think.
it.
Oh,
I got it.
there you go, Anna.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, but wait a minute. Now I gotta do this again. I gotta because it's on my. I can't link it off of. I gotta link it off of here. So I bring me up. I gotta bring up the stream for like 5 seconds. Boom, boom. Give me 1 second. Boom, 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 boom. That's not it. 1 sec.
I'm hosting a party, evidently.
Anna. There we go. All right. Thanks, Anna. Okay.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Mysterious Places, Narwhal. Paul Lubin, Creighton Bardhurst, 2 great legends. And Stuart Kerrigan's III is a triumvirate of the Brits
Yes.
with
Yep.
Narwhal. So that's why this is canon to me because
It's
Mhm.
canon to a lot of Greyhawk fans, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, when they have done it. Yeah.
Now they do destroy Narwhal because everyone did during that time.
They destroyed a lot of things.
Everything got destroyed back then. But let's go to
Yeah.
We're going here. We're going on the second or third page. We're going to you may
What is
this is
that
the
for?
the
Yeah, it's a
sundered
long. Yeah.
the sundered spear. Okay, third page. Yeah, this article I use as a supplement to my what's going on in my Narwhal for today. All right, so let's talk about a failed adventuring group, which is right here published. This is the Sundered Spear, and if you know, this is where I start a lot of things in inns. This is the inn that we start at every time in Norwell. There's the Quill and Inkwell Inn, and then there's the Sundered Spear in my section that I put up on my table for Narwhal. So I use this. What's up, Alderaan? Good to see you, man. Hopefully everything's okay. All right, so and we talk about close to the where named. All right, blah. Once again, I'm taking it down a notch. Close to the Wayne Yard and mainly caters to merchants, wealthy visiting guildsmen, and adventurers flush with coin. Named after the Shining Spears, that's the name of the adventuring group. A group of adventurers dedicated to Tritherian. Now I have to fix this mess of this third edition mess of classes. Falara, the group's only surviving member. Tavern is one of the safest places in Narwhal. Okay, and it talks about Shane and all the other ones. So, there are a lot in the headhunters of Tritherian worshippers because she's a priestess of Tritherian. So they get free room aboard here. So another benefit. Also,
I can imagine if the long cloaks come riding through the Wild Coast, they would get along great.
Definitely. Also, combine this with, I think it's Stewart's Knight of the Chase. It's here, Stewart Creighton. I apologize. I think it's Stewart's, though, the Knight of the Chase article that we have. That's our 4th knight class in our game. They're Tritherian worshippers as well. So there's a lot of Tritherian run around. Bladestorm's a Tritherian priestess, too. So lots of them. So it talks about this, and it tells you exactly the Shining Spears met their doom deep within the Promars last winter while searching for a particularly notorious orc chieftain. So there you go. Kind of a neat thing. What's up, Gary? A neat little blurb here. So what I have is if Enoch Pratt's on Tim, you always talk about Walt's character. Who is a barmaid here and part of the secret part of the Norwell Headhunters, even though she says she's not a member, but she's basically a spy for them as a barmaid in this inn, working with Falara finding out intelligence and finding out that the Baron is not really that all good of a dude, and may have had a lot to do with a lot of headhunters being killed over the last couple of years. So there's a lot going on in Narwhal, but this is cool because this was an adventure group, published source, that has one member left, and now is a bar, owns an inn in Narwhal. So I thought that was neat. So Night of the Couch. The Night of the Couch would be cool.
Nice.
So I have 4 nights in my 4 night classes: Night of Ulick, Night of the Heart, Night of the Holy Shielding, Night of the Chase. They're actual classes. They're not. Yeah. So, yep. It's a hybrid, almost paladin, especially priest hybrid when you think about it. So, first campfire article was, man, Mike, that's great. So that's another cool little tidbit that I wanted to share. Outside of me going to my normal realms, Greyhawk, and all the other places. So a good mysterious place there. I know Anna said you're going to listen a lot, Anna, but if you have like a merc you want to talk about or something, just let
Well, we kind of, I mentioned a little bit, we have a adventure company that was tied into Tritherion. In my Shieldlands campaign, I have the Shield Patrol. That's basically a way of it's a secret, well, it's kind of a side organization, recon and revenge organization for the Shieldland that is run by Tritherion priests and various people that are tied in. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are Tritherion related, so to speak, and so they run a scheme of basically killing off and hunting down and capturing and Iusians. So they do a lot of work behind enemy lines, and they also liberate a lot of Shieldlanders that might be stuck behind enemy lines, so to speak. So they do a lot of stuff like that. They are good, but they are not particularly good in how they do it. Meaning, when they find Iusians, they cut off the head, so they don't torture. They don't do that, but they kill. Or they kill outright. Yeah, they think that's a mercy, a good merciful death for an Iusian.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
So, how many of them roughly are there, or is it?
There's at least 500.
Wow.
Yep, at least 500 in yeah, they do. And they one of the cool aspects of it, they have taken initially there were orcs and various humanoids, especially half orcs and orcs, that surrendered to the Shieldland forces because they were tired of fighting, and they were just so and since now the war is like 16, 17, so it might be 18, 20 years ago. So now there is a young generation that, because the Shieldlanders, they took them in as prisoners of war to either release them or trade them or something, so to speak, and use them as labor. And then some of these half orcs and orcs and some of the others, they got kids who are now 20 years old. So the Shield Patrol, they recruited them in and trained them and so on. And the ones that were loyal, and they had to sign up voluntarily, so to speak, and wanted to fight for the Shieldlands because they treated them really well. And now they have a few half orcs and even orcs and stuff that know Orcish. They are and they can work behind enemy lines and blend in, so to speak. And they are not that many, but probably about 50 or 75 or 80 or so that are the some of the interesting ones, so to speak. And they want their homeland free of IUs too, so to speak. And so they've been given recognition if they do good fighting and so on, and are loyal just like any other Shieldlander, then they are treated well. Not by the general population in Shieldlands, but by their superiors, so to speak, and the officials. They know the value of having some shocks troops that can blend in and work behind enemy lines and stuff. So they are a little elite unit among the Shieldlanders, and it's a new regime in Shieldlands. So that's why they taken on kind of unusual approaches, and it was also a way of using a chaotic, kind of crazy, not level-headed church. Let them do what they're good at, so to speak, and set it up. So that's my way of treating the Tritherion faith in Shieldlands.
I want that.
500
is a good place for them.
500 is almost an army in the Shieldlands because of everyone being dead.
Well, they have over 20,000 soldiers now. Yeah, they are war footing. Yeah, they're
Okay.
on war footing. Their total
Okay.
amount of soldiers is about 25,000. Everybody able-bodied who can carry a sword and stuff, they have good funding now. So they
Okay.
are they are determined. It's full mobilization. So almost everybody who can fight can, and they get good equipment and good training and good benefits, good perks, good healing and stuff like that. So and they recruiting
sign me up.
everywhere. So they're recruiting from other countries too. Come to Shieldland. It's an adventure. We take good care of you. We train you, give you good equipment. A lot of young ones are have nothing better to do, so they're coming and having fun.
Yeah, that's like it's like the keep on the border. It's Borderlands. It's Frontierland
Yes.
now. It's
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted
So
to have my Shieldlands as a good cult. What would a good cult look like? So to
right.
speak. So that was my idea, so to speak. So I'm taking the new Order of the Shield is a good cult, meaning what would Islam the IS be if they were fighting for something good and not bad, so to speak,
Okay.
and in a good way. So yep, a
Interesting.
good cult. Yep.
It's funny how we parallel a little bit in the Shieldlands,
Mhm.
but with different groups. So yours
Yeah.
is Tritherian people.
So, yeah, some of them are. Most of them are Hironians, Palor,
No,
some Mayaheen.
I'm
They
saying
have
the outside group. Or
Oh,
the
okay. Yeah.
Tritherians outside of the main Knights
Yeah.
of the Holy
Mhm.
Shielding group.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you go to this, and now we're going to actually hit to Greyhawk stuff.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. We go to page. We're going to put page 71. So if we go to From the Ashes. Now we'll go back to the Free City Grub box set here, but let's go here. And I'll explain right here. All right. The Fighters of the Light. Mike's favorite because I named all after hockey goons, right?
Right.
Yes. Rich Pilon and Ty Domi and the whole crew. So they're from the Theocracy of the Pale, are lawful neutral to a man, and loudly proclaim their purpose as seeking to root out chaos in all its manifestations. So the only one named is Magan Staran, and this is in Greyhawk City. So I have Magan as I have that named set. And I have him as I think there's one Inquisitor, which is a paladin subclass in my game. One quasi elementalist, and all the rest are like fighter types. So, Prof, nope, no game hole for me, man. I'd love to, but nah, it's out of the cards again. So from this, I'm thinking to myself, the Theocracy of the Pale after all this war, the Pale really was undamaged during the war.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
what do Zealots do? They expand.
Mine
right?
went crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have Fighters of the Light mercenary groups now in
Mhm.
Hardby. They're in Altamira, and
Yep.
in particular, covering open swath areas of the Shieldlands, and we've seen
I
that since
bet.
day one of me streaming.
Oh, that's
right?
interesting.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
so we've seen them in Walrus Crossing. Radiant Fork
Yep.
was renamed.
Mhm.
Renamed from East Fork
Yeah,
because
that's East Fork is the Living Greyhawk name, I think,
Yeah.
or maybe I added it in. I think it's a Living Greyhawk thing,
Right.
if I remember
right
correctly. Yep.
because now the Fultus individuals have it. It's Radiant Fork now.
Okay.
All right, and
Oh
then there's
damn, my Katarina, she will be terribly angry for the Fultians have gotten evil in my version of it. So they're now a problem both for Nyron and the Shieldlands, and a bunch of others are now wondering what the heck is happening with the Fultians. They're going extreme. Yep. They're going
Well, lawful
extreme.
neutral's extreme too, and it can be
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
So,
So they skip the good part, and they're descending quickly into religious extremism and throwing out every other faith, and you have to be it's the Fultian way or the highway, so to speak. Yep.
ever adopt Golden Glory groups from Forgotten Realms of Greyhawk? No, Mac, I have not. Maybe it's a good idea, but I have so many adventuring groups that have been created from scratch. You
Yeah.
know, so the Fighters of the Light is one of these published source ones that I love and have taken. I'll show you as I show more mercenary group rosters and stuff. But yeah, so you have the Tritherians as the third wheel cog
Yeah,
in
they're
yours.
kind of that. It's not that they are run by Tritherians. It's not that they are a Tritherian group per se. It's just that the Tritherians are actively recruiting in people of that faith into that group because it really fits, so to speak. It's like Katarina using and saying that, oh, this is a mission. Can you please do that? And the Tritherians are realize it's good.
The Tritherians aren't like sending the Irish like in William in Braveheart.
A little bit,
Yeah,
that way. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. It's a religious zealotism that
Right.
is good. And then you have the Mayahin. That's another subcult, so to speak. And that they are the female soldiers that are really prominent, so to speak. They have Mayahin. They can join and are female knights that are. They are not so much on the front line doing attacks. They are the defenders. So they are defending and making sure that when the enemy, if they break through the front line, Mayahins are there to mop it up, so to speak. And so they have, and they do special missions and stuff too. So they're, and there's a bunch of others and Pillorians and stuff. So there's several subgroups in it. And then you have some Cuthbertians who maintain law and order, and then you have a set of Rao priests that are they are running the I would say diplomatic relations between Shieldlands and Furyundi, Valuna, and a bunch of other people that support Shieldlands and stuff. So they are the advisors and running the foreign missionaries and meaning embassies and stuff. So they run a lot of that stuff. So yeah.
Cool. So just to show you how it's parallel, kind of, but it's not, because you have your Tritherians, I have my Fultians. So,
well, yeah, we also emphasize some slightly different aspects of our campaign and stuff. Meaning, you build certain things much more detailed than I do, and I build other aspects way more detailed than you do. So it's interesting. We emphasize on different things, which is kind of cool because then we can cherry pick from each other and expand.
Absolutely, absolutely, very good one there.
Yeah, and
good.
So what about the mercenaries? I was thinking before here, so to speak. We have traditionally, you might say that mercenaries are professional soldiers that are simply, instead of fighting for loyalty or a cause, they're fighting for money. You can hire them like consultants or any professionals, and they will fight as long as you pay them. They will fulfill their contract, so to speak. That's the kind of the normal tradition of mercenaries you see from the real world. That kind of, that they've probably always been to some degree, but they were kind of became prominent in northern Italy in the Renaissance and stuff. The city states that were a lot of wealthy and started to be capitalistic, so they had a wealth of money to spend on things and political ambitions and did it. But I was thinking, is that a too narrow of a definition of a mercenary for like a Greyhawk campaign or fantasy, or should we broaden it or narrow it even more? What do you guys think when it comes to mercenaries?
So
who would you define? Yeah,
that is really hard to define. Mercenaries, to misconceptions, they were all professional. That's true, bigger or not.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I see mercenaries as adventuring groups can be mercenaries very easily because they're taking. How many times do we have a mission, an adventure, and someone goes, "What are you paying me? How are you compensating me?" You're being a mercenary.
There you go. Yeah.
Right. So So normally the lawful goodies go, "We're doing it for the kindness of our hearts," or whatever, and everyone else in the group go, "No, we're not." Right. So, but that's why I kind of have the mercenary groups and ratings, which is kind of, I use that in my 3 main cities.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's something that to keep track of, and because I think notoriety, and I don't use a hard system on that. Like, I guess that Golden Glory system that Big Mac was saying in Forgotten Realms has all sorts of things built into it for notoriety. Mine is based on the feel and the adventures and that they've done, and the good or bad things that they've done. So we can talk about that. So, but it's a good question.
And it's curious. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, so I did a little bit of meta research before this on the glossography, because I was like, let's see if mercenaries are in the encounter tables, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're not really. A lot of the men categories, like men bandits, men whatever.
Pilgrims.
Pilgrims. Those are classifications that are in the monster manual. So I checked
Yeah.
my AD&D monster manual, and there is no men, mercenaries.
Right.
There's men bandits and all these other things. Buccaneers, pirates. So the only thing I could find in the glossography that actually mentioned mercenary was there's soldiery, right?
Yep, that'll do it.
And in the charts it says soldiery encounters 150 to 200. So yeah, that's a big mercenary band. So then I'm looking through the different nations and terrain areas, and maybe someone else can find it, but the only soldiery I could find on the encounter charts was an IUs.
Really?
So I'm like, okay, human soldiery IUs.
Yeah.
That's where all the mercenaries are going, apparently.
That's interesting.
But we know better. We know that there's mercenaries everywhere.
Yeah. It's kind of funny when I run my campaigns, I try to often bribe the characters with gold and stuff and say, oh, fight for this, or various others recruiting them, especially when they come up and become either a form of nuisance and someone can see that they are capable. When they get to 5th, 6th, 7th level, then they become someone in the world, meaning they can be useful for almost anybody with a cause and some money who needs some power on their side. Then characters can be really useful. But most players, they rarely don't fall for it. They kind of they want a cause rather than just gold or something.
Right.
So yeah.
So I guess it just depends on your play style and how long a lot.
Oh yeah, they know people that play with me know that that's a big trap, so don't fall into it. They know that, so they are like, no, we don't do that. If someone approach and promise gold or whatever, they never fall for it. That my players are so smart that they
mercenaries
see through
are like cheap and plentiful. I would think player characters are more like specialists.
Yeah, but they go the whole range, meaning a lot of and it was like Sim Backers said that not all mercenaries are professional. That's true in that sense that a lot of people that are hire themselves out to fight are probably not skilled at all. They're just desperate. They need the money. They need an income. So they're professional in the sense they have no other income, but not in the sense that they are particularly skilled at what they're doing, so to speak. So yeah. They go the whole range from riffraff that have just desperate for money to people who have superb resumes and been professional out the fingertips, so to speak.
So yeah, Jeff, I think mercenary. You say I think mercenary is more military, but when I say that, why? Maybe it's me, and just because of my play style with the group. Look at I don't have down Altamira adventuring groups. I have down Altamira mercenary groups, but they're adventuring groups.
But but the interesting thing, I think in a fantasy environment, just like in ancient times, I don't think that, meaning today we could see the difference between military matters, police matters and stuff. But in a fantasy environment, everything that is a threat to the state becomes military, in that sense that we need to send someone there to deal with it, whether it's an invading army, an owlbear that's on the run, or a ghost that is loose in a basement, whatever. It becomes it's a threat to the village or to the town or to the whole realm, meaning you send someone there to deal with it. So it's a matter of state security, military or law enforcement. I think these are lines of divisions we have in the real world that I don't think it will be, meaning the king or the baron or the mayor or someone, or the head of the thieves guild, he would send someone able-bodied there to deal with it, so to speak, using as much violence as would be recommended or needed, or in a thieves guild as much as possible without causing too much attention or something. So there will be different considerations, which I think could be a lot of fun, because that gives you a lot of leeway or restraints in new interesting ways, so to speak, because it's escapism. We don't want the real world too much. We want fantasy fun, so to speak.
Absolutely.
When we play.
Joby, I'm going to try and find your answer in here. It's going to be tough for me to find, but you never know. So, because I don't know exactly where it is. But so he asked, what do we know about laws regulating adventuring parties, and mercenaries? So in here, in this, in the Free Sea Grok box set, and Mike probably remembers this too, there is the free sword permit. So in order to even be an adventurer in Greyhawk, have a group, have mercenaries or adventuring party, whatever you want to call it, you have to have a free sword permit. I think it's 10 gold a year.
Yeah, but I think that's a really good question, both from a rules perspective and from a settings perspective, and in order to flavor your campaign rights. So yeah,
I found it. Free sword tax. No, it's 3 gold. Any adventurer not a citizen of Greyhawk, usually a mercenary, is required to pay the sum of 3 gold pieces upon entrance into the city. This payment gives the adventurer a written license, without which he may not legally approach employers as a mercenary for hire within the city, may not trade plunder or grain from Greyhawk Castle, and may not perform any other sort of transaction of a similar sort. So taking treasure and going to money changers and stuff like that, or getting gems cut or whatever. So that is, at least there's something in here. So it's called.
But I can see this is something that I think varies a lot from realm to realm. Meaning some rulers are probably very nervous. They don't want anyone running around with swords and shields and looking like a bunch of soldiers or capable people that are capable of killing and violence and a threat to their power. They probably want not money per se only, but they probably also want a personal loyalty assurance from them. Meaning, if you want to be in my realm and carry a sword and go around being someone and have a potential of killing or whatever, that means that you have to swear loyalty to me and you have to do what I tell you to do and nothing else, so to speak. So some rulers are probably very finicky about that, so to speak. They need to know everybody personally who has the right, meaning you might have a baron or someone, a mayor or someone like that who runs the town. They want to know everybody who has that capability, and you need to fight for me when I say so, otherwise go somewhere else. And then you have others who simply say, well, pay me some money and you're good, and you can carry your sword and have your armor. And others who will simply say, well, you have to sign up and do 2 weeks of duty at the front, and then you're good to go, like a foreign legion thing, meaning come here, fight for 6 months, and you're a citizen kind of thing. Or I can see a lot of different variations of this, which could be fun, because then you can have the party saying, if you're going to go cut across this country, you have to go to the front and fight for next battle or two, and if you do really well, then you will be offered something. Otherwise, they will hunt you or something. So you can turn this into an adventure opportunity, or just lighten their purse. Yeah,
I think we don't want to blur. We don't want to say get on semantics on distinctions between
no, I think you should use it as a DM. You should use it as a resource for coming up with cool stuff for your campaign. You should think outside the box a bit and vary. And it's the cool thing of adding thematic, meaning I use cleric. They might not want to see anyone carry more than a little knife. If you have more than a kitchen knife, then you need to swear loyalty to them and blah 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 and whatever. So otherwise you would not be trusted to be in the realm at all, so to speak. If you smell bad, they will not like you. Yeah.
So Mike got a haircut, so no hat. Plus the team stinks.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
They do. The Colts are bad. So all right. So Mike, what do we got? What do you got for a mercenary group, mercenary individual, adventuring group? What we got?
So here's something fun. We were talking about distinctions between stuff. Who played Age of Worms?
Only part.
Besides me.
Only a little bit of it.
Did you get to the Champions Belt adventures?
We did not, but Josh did.
You know what I'm talking about?
Josh did during the fundraiser. All those groups.
Yeah, remember
all those groups.
All those groups
so
in it.
I went back and looked at it, and I ran that.
What dungeon
Not
is
only
it?
did I 128.
I'll bring it right up.
All right.
Good
so
one,
not only
Mike.
did I run the Champions Belt in Age of Worms, after Age of Worms was over, I ran the next season, the second year of it, because it was so fun. So in the Champions Belt, you get all these gladiator groups competing, but most of them to me come off as either adventuring groups or small groups of like mercenary types. None of them really like scream, "Oh, gladiator" to me. It's a very D&D gladiator
Yeah.
system.
Mhm.
Anyhow, the defending champions in this adventure is a group called Oryx Warband,
Mhm.
and they are a rival adventuring group. Or Oric the Fighter and Kellic the Wizard, and their backup are 3 flesh columns. So that's
Kellick's the Dragon Chess Grand Champion guy and the Seeker. Is he a
right,
Seeker
right.
or is he a?
I might
He's
be
one of them. He's either a Seeker or what's the other one? Silent one. He's one of the two.
Oryx Warband. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right,
yeah,
Rick. Yeah.
yeah. So
Um.
very cool.
So
Sorry, Dale.
so you got, and in this adventure, they only detail a handful of these groups,
Yep.
but they give you a list of a bunch of them. Everywhere from like in the ELs, encounter level, everything. So Orcs Warband is the best group, encounter level 12.
Right.
But it goes all the way down to like EL 5, I think.
Yeah, I'm going through all these. Look at
Well,
male dwarf barbarian is one of yeah battles. Just all sorts of crazy stuff in here.
and so yeah, a lot of them groups are really fun, and they leave them for you to develop some of the minor ones, which I did in the second season of it. Uh, like the one at the very bottom is Varmint Patrol. They're the worst group, and I had that as a group of 8 halflings from Elmshire. And what I was doing was I was drawing on my experience of Blood Bowl
Yeah.
and Warhammer, to come up with some weird, some weird groups.
That's the fun of. I mean, this is Tito Liadi. We should have him on sometime.
Uh,
I know he's does his own thing with
Now,
Sean Merwin, but
a couple of the groups in this list, in particular, are very specific Greyhawk. I know that for Age of Worms they had to kind of genericize a little. They always talk about the Free City; they never call it Greyhawk City.
Mhm.
But one of the adventuring group gladiator competitors is called the Teeth of Cord. That's a cool group name.
Mhm.
The Teeth of Cord. And then there's another one called the Skull of Merc. Merc as in Merc, the wizard from the box set, gold box set. Can't remember the story behind that. So there's some, yes, Merc with a Q. So there's some nice little Greyhawk touches in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get Dungeon 128. There's a whole list of cool
yeah,
either adventuring groups, mercenaries, gladiators. The line's blurred there.
yeah, and some of them are not the nicest individuals in the round. So now, if sorry, tangent. If all of you saw the D&D movie, there were a whole bunch of mercenary groups trying to go through that maze, right? Including the originals from the cartoon, right? So there were all sorts of groups in that one too. So and that was Forgotten Realms, but yeah. So these kind of competitions are cool to do. But yeah, the great one, Mike. Really a good one to bring up because it's right. I mean, this shows published source mercenary groups written up. For this adventure.
One of the feature ones in the module is called Arcane Auriga, and it's a group of elves from Selene.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Auriga is probably the leader of the group. I don't know. And then there's 4 elven archers. So I think that's really cool. There's a backstory in there somewhere. I can't remember what it was, but what the hell are 5 elves from Selene competing in some random gladiator competition?
Here it is.
Right?
Renida, Arcane. Oh my God, they got like 3 classes and stuff. That hurts my head.
Yeah,
They're Arcane Archers, which are one of Anna's 3rd edition favorites.
there you go.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
So yeah, it's
Pretty neat.
I see that as a good opportunity if you're really into running stuff out of the city of Greyhawk or whatever metropolitan area you want. It's a place that will draw mercenary bands from all over the world, so you'll get weird groupings like elves and halflings and whatever. And not only are they competing in the arena, evidently, they probably all have free sword licenses, like Jay said, right?
Yeah.
And so they're all could be hired to do whatever, I suppose. If you're needing some extra muscle to go take out, Rary the Trader or something. I don't know.
Yeah, my firing the melee combat. Yes, they're all just firing away in the melee combat all day, Curtis. Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom.
yeah. It's not gladiator competition like we're used to. It's definitely more of a PC.
Yeah.
It's almost like those convention tournaments. It's almost a PvP type game.
Yeah, and it was really a cool change up, I think, for just a standard the way adventuring goes. I thought it was really, really well done. I haven't run it just because it's just I don't know. I'm running bits and pieces of that. Like they're on the fringe of it. So, all right, now I got to find something. Of course, I can never find something when I want it. But let's stay here in the free city of Greyhawk and the outskirts. How about that? There's Hardby. I need to find the Aberrals area, Aberrals and the Cairn Hills. So here's the campaign book. It should be in here. Here we go. 20, page 20 through 31. I got it. So a big one that's out here, and it should be coming up now, is and one of the PCs that is actually, oh look, my favorite, except when it was good, Doom Grinder. When there was actually a good picture of it. I got Stormkeep and the Mountain Militia, Dumbledan. Here it comes. All right. So there's Mountaineer Militias. But let's get to here. It is Karastein's Castle. So now.
Oh, yeah. Karstein.
Yeah, Karstein.
Good one.
Is this a mercenary or is this an adventuring party? I think it's a little both.
Little both.
Yeah. I think so. So 5-towered castle took 4 years. I don't care. Any living Greyhawkers, she's still alive in my game, and the castle's still there. Sorry. All right. But what's cool is most of them are named. They're actually named in the adventure. So I mean, in the free city. So you got, you got Karstein, Aaron Marinder, Caravan, Avandus, the Cheyenne Stormhanded, who attended the joust, and the one played by Alex, Gesherin Haflorinus, who actually did really well. He's the one that went 9 rounds with Tim's character Sir Reginald in the joust until he finally beat him. So they're all there, and also Ambara, a young gold dragon, also lives with Karstein. So much so that I've rostered them. So I have the whole group rostered up. There you go, and there's the group of characters. Now Ambara is a gold dragon. Masquerading as a human, but you see there's the Karstein Castle members, and she's a paladin. So how do you note what they are? I mean, it's just, I know she's look, she does not accept rulership from Greyhawk. She believes it to be a city of thieves. However, she has.
I guess what Sam is saying, it's your classic name level player character who started a stronghold and has henchmen.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is an adventuring group.
Yep.
Well, Karstein might have had her own adventuring group, and then when she went and started her own stronghold, maybe then attracted these followers to just her.
That's true too. That's maybe a great possibility.
Yeah.
I always saw them as a rival. Well, not a rival, but an allied adventuring group. We've actually had
to look up to.
We've actually had groups fly into Karstein's Castle during my games, from Hardby, some of them, and then go from there into the depths of the Aberrals or into the bright desert. From that point, because of where she is, location is very vital on the map. So, and that has a key placed. So there you go.
Nice.
Yep.
I see Karastein's situation then the same as, say, Tenzer's castle with Mage Point. Tenzer's the name level wizard, and then he has some really powerful henchmen under him who then have their own troops, right?
Right.
But
Yeah, they kind
Tenzer's
of.
not, he's
Oh,
not a
sorry.
country or anything, right?
Now they kind of carve out their own territory, and they're so powerful that they kind of
Yeah.
exert enough control. And also, I think in like a fantasy environment, just like back in medieval times, long before modern times, there were not nations in the modern sense, meaning every part of the world in our on Earth now is almost everything except Antarctica and a few others are belong to one nation or the other. I think in a fantasy world, there's a lot of gray zones, so to speak, where
Absolutely.
things belong so and so, and there are personal loyalties, there are group places, there are places that are which coven they rule that area, not recognized by anybody. There's no formal borders, and there's a lot of way more chaotic, much more diverse in that sense, both legally and thematically, and in a lot of sense that there's a lot of leeway for things. So basically, you can go out and in an area, if no one settled it, you can simply say, "I'm going to rule here," and if you're powerful enough, then no one will going to question you, so to speak. Like a dragon, you set up shop somewhere and start a lair and threaten and bully everybody around, and all of a sudden you were the one running that part, so to speak. You're not recognized. There's no formal treaties. You're just the creature or the person or something or the group that rules that area. And then there are some that are more formal countries like Nairon, Furyundi, and the former Great Kingdom and stuff. So you have the whole range from the little hag that runs something to dragons and countries, and which I think it's another cool thing. And you can have a lot of variety in the fantasy world, which I think it's one of the cool assets that makes a campaign more fun.
Oh, absolutely. And there is, okay, thank you, Jeff. There is certain like things that come along in publication that stick out that I latch onto. Right. And when I see individual characters written up like this, like Karstein, I latch onto it because it's not generic. It has a specific background. It has, and the characters have a little bit of a little bit of substance to them, and that is what I think is cool about a lot of the evolution of the setting. You'll find them here and there, just like my other one, who I'll talk about a little bit later. Out in the wild coast in the forest. You know what I'm talking about there, Anna. We'll get to that though. So, all right. So, Anna, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I can. The only mercenary I really come up with that I think that there's some in the setting and stuff, but the only one that I created that I think is truly a mercenary, and at least in some aspect, is Zestra, the half sister of Ayus, the daughter of Girasden and Klavdra, that I invented, so to speak, to for my campaign. She's kind of a mercenary in that sense that she hire herself out as a consultant, so to speak, in matters in certain things. And in my Shieldlands campaign, she's actually hired by the Horned Society to kind of seek out certain established relationships, to take some enemies of the Horned Society out of action, and some bring them in, or at least enough parts of them in, so they can be questioned magically or revived or turned into some horrible undead thing that they can torture forever, or whatever Horned Society folks do with enemies they want to rein in, so to speak. So she has a multitude of little missions and so on, and her dad and she works not so much for Giras directly. She works for Lord Vuron. She's his envoy in a lot of sense. So sometimes she's just his ambassador, and sometimes she hire herself or through Lord Vuron hires herself out to seek information, to kill someone or deliver someone or escort someone. Sometimes if you want to have one of the multiverse most capable bodyguards, hire her.
So if you want to know, I use her in my campaign, and a little sidebar out here in my borderlands between Pomarj and
Yeah.
Principality Ulick. Zestra is tracking the wizard Zoe von Durin for some unknown reason.
Yep.
And has just been one step behind her in the last couple times she's appeared in an adventure.
Yep.
Both of them.
Yeah, I have her. She's a drow, that 6 feet tall drow with 6-fingered hands.
Yeah.
And she's very, very capable, so to speak. She's probably about 400 years old or something like that. So
right.
Yep. So she's in her prime in that sense, and she's been around the bend a few times, and is fairly capable. She has two kind of fiendish swords that are sort of sharpness and some other cool effects and stuff. And she's really, really capable, stealthy and fighting ability, and some decent amount of magic capabilities as well.
Well, technically, I'm not sure if you go there, Anna. The character is an Alu demon, half drow, half Alu demon, right?
Well, she's half drow and half fiendish, so she's a Cambion. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So she's in that sense, she's probably more demonic than other, but she can also she can change certain aspects of herself as needed, so to speak. But she normally has 6-fingered hands, at least when she wants to show off her chops, so to speak. So, and
if I recall, Alu demons are either they don't have to be full-blooded evil as much as Cambions in MM2.
No,
I could be remembering that.
Clavdra is, sorry, Zestra. She is. I have her as neutral in that sense. She has a very flexible. She's more curious. She's not evil for evil's sake, so to speak. She doesn't go around killing people for fun or torture for fun, but she's flexible. If the mission needs it and she thinks it's adequate, then she have no qualms about using whatever methods needed, so to speak, in order to and she's not overzealous, and so she in that sense, she's fairly lawful in a lot of sense, so to speak, meaning she followed principles and stuff, but not overly immoral, meaning she will, if she thinks it's necessary for the survival of the world herself or her mission, then she will go to almost any length and stuff. And she also seen the worst scum the multiverse have to offer. So she's kind of jaded in a lot of sense. So yeah.
So Sam, but yes, if you consider a military sense, because in real life, because there is no adventuring D&D style in real world, right? So that's a mercenary is a hired gun to protect, to attack or protect something, right? Like right?
Yeah, and I also see in a fantasy world is a lot of things are probably much more done under personal loyalty. You have to swear an oath of loyalty to whoever you serve, a high priest, a cult leader, a baron, a king, whatever, so to speak. So if you want to join the Thieves Guild, you have to take some blood and swear on it that you're going to work for the blah blah.
I'm quoting I'm quoting a movie now. I'm probably gonna mess it up, but some of you will get it.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're hiring mercenaries. You're out there fucking Pluto, man.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie. Yeah.
Nope.
Come on, you have. You guys have.
Oh, okay.
No, not spies like us. No. That was from something else. Give me your arm, Mr. Joshua. Yes, Lethal Weapon.
Oh, okay. Yes. There you go.
Out there like Pluto. Yeah, when he burns his arm, he puts the flame under his arm. You're using mercenaries. Yeah, so that's what I think of it. Gary Busey.
Yeah, but they are a group of in established lore. There are a group of that are listed as mercenaries, and that's from the Bandit Kingdoms. And you have the Urhasi from the kingdom of Urhasi near Rookroost, south of Rookroost. The capital is Kinnamit. And they are listed as mercenaries. They hire themselves. Oh yeah, they hire themselves out. The mercenaries, they fight for anyone, but they will not fight each other. Period. I think that's the gist of it, so to speak. They're described in both the I Use the Evil and the Marklands, I think. Yep. So Yurhasi have the tradition of mercenaries, and after the war, when a lot of them fled because they didn't want to fight for Ayus, so they're fighting for others. So I have there are groups of Yurhasi hired by the Shield Lands to fight for them. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So they are mercenaries in the classic sense that they are hired.
They probably
soldiers.
fought
Yeah.
with the Bandit Kingdoms and the Horn Society against the Rovers of the Barrens and some of those
Yeah.
Gygax
Yep.
dragon articles,
Mm-hmm.
most likely.
Oh yeah, I think they were part of the Gord books too. I think they mentioned there, if I remember correctly, or maybe I'm just hallucinating this, but there are things that, and the Tenna host and others or the Palites and stuff are mentioned in the Gord books and example of them. So yeah.
So I know it's technical jargon, but I see that anyone that goes, and even if you're guarding a caravan as a in a D&D adventure, you're a mercenary.
Then you
group.
yeah, exactly. Then you hired help to and yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Mike, what do you got for us?
So I was, like I said, I was looking for where are the mercenaries at.
Mhm.
So after I was stumped on the glossography, inevitably I went to Greyhawk Wars.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So in the Greyhawk Wars game, bear with me here. Among the deck of cards that can be drawn from anything from magic items to nations, there is a mercenary deck of mercenary cards. When you land on certain spots on the game board, you can draw a card. If you are if you're a good country like Q-Land, or if you're a evil country like I use, you look at the card, it's either going to be a good card of mercenaries or an evil card of mercenaries. So if you're good and you draw an evil, I guess you have to discard it, etc. So anyhow, here are the spots on the map that
cool.
have the you land on this spot, you get a mercenary draw. Plains of the Paynims. That makes sense, right?
There you go. Yep, mercenary.
The Paynims are hired as mercenaries.
Let me get to it.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to jump around a lot. Jay, hang on.
No problem. I'm just showing this.
You have the map.
I'm showing. Yeah, this is in the box set.
Yeah.
It's on sideways.
It'll be like a little circle shield with a sword.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's a bunch of these spots.
Right there. Good Hills.
Yeah. Good Hills is one.
There's another one.
That was a fun game. It took forever to play, but we played it a couple of times. It was fun.
Yeah, look, Vesvi Forest is a whole bunch.
Vesvi Forest is two. Yep. Celadon Forest, Grandwood. A lot of the hills are like that. Fleming Hills.
Yeah, out here.
Cron Hills. The northern Wild Coast.
Yep.
So your Narwhal Headhunters can get involved in Great Wars.
Yep.
Central Bandit Kingdoms has a mercenary spot, and I'm wondering if that's where Kennemead's at, Anna.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in
like
Bandit Kingdoms.
Real close.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, so, it's up there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So whoever designed the game did have a pretty good, Zeb Cook did have a good understanding of the geopolitical thing when he was like assigning mercenary spots.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. Yep.
Very cool.
So just for fun, I think that was much more profitable research than the old 83 guide. Go figure.
Yeah. So do those have what the results of the cards are?
Yeah.
If you keep scrolling, you'll see.
Here we go. One treant.
Yeah, it's some bizarre.
So then you can take these units and place them on the map.
So if you're Keelland, you get a treant.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Which are powerful and stuff. So yeah.
There we go. Neutral mercenary cavalry.
And it was also fun because you had like adventurers that could go through the map and do some special missions and stuff.
Anna. The adventure, the hero chits that had to go around to those spots.
Yeah.
And hire the mercenaries while the armies are fighting. Right.
Very cool.
Yep.
Good catch, Mike, on that one.
Yeah.
That is cool.
And event cards were fun too, and we're giving catastrophes of
Oh,
various
yeah,
kinds
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
The event cards are fun.
Mhm.
When I was looking through those, I was thinking, man, there's the Greyhawk Wars game cards, and I've done this before with the Magic items. Those could be a source for some good articles.
Yeah.
Is,
Hmm.
you know,
I should read them again. I
adapting
have
that
the
to a game.
Yeah, I have them sitting around here. I thought I'd lost all the counters, but I actually found them. I thought I lost them in the move to California, but
Yeah.
I actually find them in the box
Cool.
here in the background. So I have all of the
I
parts
still
of
I
my
still use mine for all kinds
Yep.
of uses.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I would need I have an unpunched and sealed factory sealed Wars. I'd have to get one that's not before I could ever, because I'm not breaking that one open to actually live stream a game of this. It may be boring
Yeah.
as hell, but it would be.
But it takes time, but it is
We
fun.
could set it up at a point though and run
Yeah.
it.
And there is a board game site that you can do board game simulators and stuff, and it will be, if you want to play it online, you can kind of put the map in there, and you can make copies of the counters, and you can play it that way. I was thinking so
Cool.
because it takes a long time to play. I think we played it over like a whole weekend or
Yeah.
something when we played it.
So here's my question for those out there that are as old as me: is playing Wars better, worse, or equal to running a Divine Right scenario?
Divine Rights?
Divine Right, TSR
Never
war
played that.
game,
Never
fantasy
played that.
war game, going
Never
back a
played that.
long time.
Yeah, I never played that.
Did he
I'm
create it
gonna
on the-
guess. I'm gonna guess Greyhawk Wars is easier because to me, it plays pretty quick. Once you figure out the rules, it's pretty quick, in my
Okay.
opinion. But
It takes a while once you get into it, but we
Yeah.
didn't know the rules, and we were not used to wargaming, so it took us a while to get into it. And we were also like, "Oh, this is so cool! This is Greyhawk!" So we were like overwhelmed by all the cool stuff in it.
Wars
so,
was
yeah.
faster than Divine Right. Okay. Because Divine Right had a lot of cool scenarios in it. I mean, that was out like 70s, like when before.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, this was it mid 80s, 85, 86, 87, was
think
it
I have
90?
Let me see.
I forgot, but it was in the heyday of
let me just
Greyhawk.
Let
Yeah.
me type this in and see if I have the copy of the box here.
It was time of From the Ashes. It was roughly around that time, I think, when the wars were.
What Wars? Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I think.
Hold on.
So late 1980s or something. So, yes, a kitty that wants to go in or out or something. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Got it.
Oh, look at that. Yep.
Hey, Bones, see you tomorrow night for a fun game. Let me flip back so we get a little larger.
25 bucks.
Variel and Lady SRL, the grand. What do I have down? Oh, you're gonna like this. Your second one. You can't see it here, but it says, Bones, Grand Joust Altamira Legend for your second trophy because you're the champion of champions now. So that'll say that in your second trophy. Here it is, the Divine Right box set. This is by TSR, and this is from '79. Fantasy war game. Yep. So. Aha. Okay. What's 91 for Wars? Probably. That's about right. That sounds about right for Wars.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's it, Curtis. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't gone to Free City Grout box set. We need to.
You just mentioned it. That's about it. Yep.
Yeah, we got to go here. So we need to go, and so another reason why I fell in love with this, and another reason why in the Altamira box set I'm going to have a lot of NPCs in it too, is because these NPCs, this group is so detailed. In oh man, I hate that when I do this and I try and find here folk food. It should be under It Takes All Kinds. It should be in there 69, page 69. Should be here. Yep, there we go. The Fellowship of the Torch. Right?
Yep. Classic.
Right. Yeah, a true classic. And it says the group of 5 medium level NPCs is given as an example of an adventuring group whose members reside in Greyhawk most of the time. Right. So, and then it gives you detail on them, and it gives you good background on them. And and it gives you a relation point that you don't have to create yourself for your characters to interact with, right? Especially good aligned. So I love using this group. I said 1,000 times I hated that, and I didn't have it happen in mine that they killed the gnome in From the Ashes, so I didn't do that because there's nothing better than a gnome running around and throwing rubber chickens at people like he does. And yeah, I got to get the 25th. I passed on the 25th when I was younger. That long flat box set goblin, I should have gotten one, man. At that time, it was $50 at that time, and it's now probably $300. So, but yeah, there's 5 great characters in here: dual class human, a ranger, a spellcaster, and an illusionist, and a gnome thief. So it's a really great group, and they have the probably, like I said, they had the first scalable magic item I think that was created in Greyhawk, the Torch of Anaxander. So from that, we developed all of our mercenary and adventuring groups in Greyhawk City. And I've discussed this before, but I've discussed this in Earth Journal number 29. And it's probably near the end. Well, there's the irregulars. Oh, that didn't last long, did it? There we go. All right. And I call it Free Swords of Greyhawk City. Could call it it says mercenary companies. We could say adventuring groups or whatever. So, and this is in Earth Journal 29, and I have all the listing of the Greyhawk City mercenary groups combined with published sourced ones and ours. Because look, if you have here, and there is the Fellowship of the Torch as second highest, the number 1 next to it means number 1 or 2 means that they're listed, and they're not edited, or they're edited slightly somehow, and that's what those numbers mean there. So how to define mercenary? If you look in the Greyhawk Guide, you find NPC factions. Right? Yeah, it is a lot of terminology, and so note that you got 1, and there's more now than this, because if we go this is old. If we go here, we got it. No, that's Altamaris. This may be right. This may be right numbers. So this is a lot of different adventuring groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are 7, counting the Gnarlyman because it's my kids group. 7 of them are player character groups. There you go, and the rest are NPC groups. So, what's up, Matties? I think it's really cool the way they added in From the Ashes. They added a whole bunch of listings of ones that we talked about in with the the Fighters of the Light, right? And there's a whole bunch of other ones, and they're listed in this article. The Breakers, the Goodmen, Wazim Quarler's Golden Scimitar is actually a picture of that group in their Corellan's Arrows, Fellowship of the Torch. The Breakers are all in there, which is cool. So you can actually use published source ones, make up your own, have them interact. So that was where we got the idea for Hardby and Altamira from that. So just giving you some ideas on that. Alrighty. Anna, you got something else, or do you want me to go to Mike here?
No, please go to Mike.
Mike.
I think I'm starting to hit my bottom here.
That's
so.
okay.
Hey, here is a easy one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Adventuring group, Morning Canaan's Fantastic Adventure.
Yeah.
Your pre-gen, really any adventure,
Yeah.
classic adventure. The pre-gen characters is an adventuring group, but I think this one particularly is important because it's Urag, Morning Canaan, Big B, and Sir 10. That's
the Circle of
heck
8,
of an
whatever.
adventuring group. It's like pre-Circle of 8. It's
Good one.
Yeah.
Good seeing Matties. So by Rob Kuntz and Gary Gygax. So we come here and
Citadel of 8. Citadel, 4 of them at any rate. But I like that, it does give you an opportunity to play in the history of the setting more so than other adventures that have random.
Yeah, they're a Citadel of 8
NPCs.
members, 4 of them.
Yeah.
So, are there stats in the middle of the adventure, or are they at the end? I always forget on this. Their pictures are here.
I
We
don't
go to the
remember
end.
either.
Yep, they're in the end. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, Mordenkainen's only 12th in here.
Yeah. How charming, right?
Mordenkainen's 12th.
He also had hair back then.
Yes. Drag, Bigby, who's now a gnome. Sorry.
Yep. It's simpler times.
And Rigby. They're also in Mar Castle, yeah.
Not Sir 10. Did I say I said Sir 10? It's Rigby, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rigby.
Rigby's the focal point in Expedition to the Ruins of Greyhawk.
Yes,
He's
right.
he's dead. And they bring him in for a processional, and the Iusians desecrate
So
his
nice
corpse.
to see that timeline of stuff going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so we've never, I don't think we've ever asked. I always am scared to ask Rob specific questions about stuff about
Oh,
this
yeah?
adventure. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
just scared because of the tangents he goes off sometimes. So
Oh,
but yeah, this is definitely a good one.
well, along the same lines as that group,
Mhm.
because we've all, heard of those characters. Another group similar to that predates them is the Company of Seven,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Gary mentioned that slightly.
Yep.
Then we need to plug a product. I think that could be, if you're digging into stuff like this the old Rogues Gallery is
Yep.
Oh.
But it
is
doesn't
is a must.
specifically talk about the Company of Seven in there, right?
No, it doesn't. It
No,
just
that's a
mentions
Gary
a
thing,
bunch
I think.
it first and foremost. Len probably loved this product because it has long listings of NPCs of various kinds. That's
Yeah.
the main thing. But then there is the interesting chapter at the end where you have
Holy
liches and powerful things, and then you have parties, adventuring parties. They're all listed parties at the end.
That's true.
Yeah, and then you have famous ones like Bigby and yeah, there's a whole bunch of famous characters. So
Yeah.
Eric's cousin, a lot of the player characters of the old folks that invented the game back in the day, so to speak. Their characters, so personalities is called.
So if you know this and you're a member of Will's Patreon, he is actually taking magic items from Rogues Gallery characters and creating them into
Oh.
5th edition special items.
Oh, awesome! Yep.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
that.
I'm one
recently.
of his patrons, so and
same
I
here.
can. Everybody should be. If you're interested in Greyhawk, you should be
Yeah.
patron of his. Yep.
So definitely a very cool thing, and this is a really a neat place to go create and utilize characters right out of here. There's some really neat ones that go way back, but there's no reason you can't use them. They're still wandering around, and there are some really bad. They played evil characters back then.
Mhm.
So don't say, oh, you shouldn't play evil characters. Look at that. Lanolin's kind of evil.
Oh,
So,
yeah, they had.
and that was played by Lawrence Schick. So I don't want to hear, oh, we don't play evil characters. Yeah, you guys, they did. So, a lot of them.
There was no prohibition to playing evil characters.
They
in the
even
rules,
had an evil
so-
character class. Assassins had to be evil, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Robillard, lawful evil.
Mhm.
Although his career started as neutral, he still retains an attitude somewhat neutral. Robillard is presently lawful evil. Well, we know that there's a new Robillard publication out.
See, then why would later authors not then infer Robillard would go traitor with Rary? No, he was lawful evil.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Definitely a cool one. Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff in here. There's Tensor. And it just goes on and on and on. Just a great publication. One of the best back in the day. Okay. Bigby was Gary's. Yeah, but that's Bigby. I think it was Rob's. This is much. That's what Rob says. Rob says Bigby was a henchman of Robillard. So I'm not gonna argue. Yeah, we weren't there. So Rob's saying that it was more of his, or it was half.
Yeah,
So
we don't know. Yeah,
yeah,
Rob
we don't.
says one thing and this says another thing, and yeah,
Right. Yeah.
we don't know what's
Yeah. What's actually true there?
yeah.
So, all right, Mike, you got something else for us here as we're winding this thing?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Keep it rolling.
Oh, good.
Adventuring groups. So here's an adventuring group
Thanks,
that
man.
is not fully detailed. That if there's someone out there who wants to tackle this topic, they would be my hero, and that is the wielders of the Blades of Korrisk,
Oh,
the original.
five shall
group.
be one.
So in the adventure, 5 shall be one. You got 5 magic blades of Korrisk for the barbarian kingdoms, right? And for some reason, the first module drops some hints about the backstory of the swords, and then the later module, Howl from the North, then totally forgets about it. They're like,
They're written by two different
who cares
people.
about the lore?
Right? They're written by 2 different authors. I think that's why.
Yeah, right. So the initial sword in question is Dreamsinger, which was wielded by a bard named Kristen Permfors. Okay.
Here it is. Yep.
Who all the barbarians in this group, like you said, are from the Rizia, right? So Kristen, very barbarian name, I guess. But so the bard was teamed up with a druid of Obed High, go figure, not Sewell, sorry, named Perrin with 2 N's.
Uh-huh.
Perrin. And Perrin carried a scimitar, because druids carry scimitars, right? Named Greenswath. So Perrin and Kristen, the druid and the bard, hung out with, the module says, 3 warriors. Well, they were trying to be vague, because later on in the module you find out that the other 3 swords are attuned to a ranger, fighter, and rogue class. But they give no backstory on the other swords, like what adventures wielded them, whatever. And they're supposed to be these great heroes from yesteryear.
So you're saying they need to be fleshed out?
Yeah,
That'd be
someone
cool.
could do a whole history of the Blades of Korrisk, and there's however far back in history you want to take it.
I
Would be epic.
nominate Dewey Carthan, because I think it would be good
There we
at
go.
doing that.
There we go.
I think
Rick can do it.
Yeah, I think it would be good. If it was on the west side of the map, I'd do it, but it's not.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's a great idea.
But I ran those modules, holding my nose, of course. But I love the Blades of Korrisk. The whole idea of 5 swords that have resonating powers. That if you get them all and bring them together, then they'll have additional powers. And I like the idea that the original owners of the sword, were an adventuring group, much like your adventuring group now that are seeking them as well. So it's like it puts you in this long line of adventures, and maybe Kristen and Perrin are not the original sword wielders. Maybe it goes before them. So, it just depends on who wants to write it up. It could be a good project. And actually, Rick, I made 5e versions of those swords for my Sea Princess campaign.
Screw 5e, old school. Get old school stats. That's cool.
I adapted the 5 shall be one for the South Seas. I always set it in the Sea Princess region, because I reasoned that they weren't the Blades of Korrisk weren't barbarian necessarily. It was a Sewell. They were Sewell artifacts, so they could appear anywhere there are Sewell.
Oh, they're Sewell artifacts.
Yeah, that's the way I reasoned it.
Okay.
They're just known as the Blades of Korrisk
like
because the most famous people who carried them were from Rizia, right?
Right.
But you theoretically could, take it farther back, and those swords could be from the Sewell Empire. I don't know.
There you go. Rich says he likes that.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, another legend. So something.
You're welcome.
Yes, excellent. It only makes sense considering they are, most of the barbarians are Sul descendants, right?
Right, right. But to keep on topic though, a write up on this adventuring group I think would be fun. Because you could detail three totally unknown NPCs to this point to add to the two from the published module.
So I'm sorry, guys. I just don't, Valjix, I just don't think it's hard to convert back and forth. I don't think it's that hard. Is it me? I could convert a first edition character. If I played fifth, I could convert a character fifth and fifth to first.
I think it's easy.
Fifth to third.
I've ran 1E modules in 5e without anything but the core books.
Yeah.
Just do it on the fly.
And if it's not exact, it's not exact.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. Good. That was another excellent one. You really cranked it out tonight, man, on your homework on these, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
That's really good. Really, really good. I'm going to go to one of my favorites. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, no. We went by it twice. I don't know. That third time, and,
yeah.
and it may become reality there.
Now you have to talk about it. Yep.
Yeah, I said the original Doom Grinder is a great story. Beyond that, it's not. So I am going up. Here's Hardby, which is cool, but we're going before that. We're going on the other side. We're going to the side of the Wild Coast in here. And that should be coming up very second. Yeah, this is all. Oh, maybe not. Where the hell is it? Oh, it's after it. Oh my gosh. Close your eyes, everyone. We have to go by it one more time. 50, page 50. Okay. There's Varnafane, another favorite of mine. All right. So I always wanted to know how this happened, or how maybe he's not there in the Wild Coast. Maybe he's freaking in the forests. Wyvernon, Stuckara, Castle Freight, Pelgarn, Zulern, Eyebite. They're all right here at Wild. There it is, Mistrine. All right. Castle Mistrine, right? Lord Mistrine himself. So I'm assuming he came from an adventuring party somewhere at some point. Really close. I mean, that is not far from Narwhal at all. So that's a problem for the headhunters, and I've always had Mistrine. They actually made a deal with a Mistrine Cavalier a couple adventures ago to take out to deal with a place that was overrun. So they actually have a kind of a neutrality pact with the one Cavalier, and I can't. My gosh, I'm losing my mind here. I can't remember his name, but. That happened a few adventures ago, so you make your bedfellows however you survive however you can. But in this, it doesn't have that much detail. On him, other than he's
not much
15th level. And remember, I have most of his daughters. At least 3 of them are known, and they're all anti-paladins, which I like. But it just says he lays claim to 15-mile radius, so it's something you could completely advance. You can give him a full adventuring party if you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, Anna.
Yeah, I was going to say I detailed them, talked about it in a previous show a few years ago. But my take on Mistrine is that he was actually one of the tax masters or the person, one of the people up in the Knight Protectors who had were their property managers or the guy that held on to a lot of their secret treasure and stuff. So he actually took a lot of the various gold and other wealth from the Knight Protectors when the Great Kingdom fell apart, and hid it away for maybe future use or something like that. So he's basically a political refugee on the wealthy side. So he set up shop in an obscure little corner, and he sits on that wealth, and I don't know exactly what his plan is. He doesn't really know because his employer kind of vanished. So now he's seeking maybe new missions. Just hold on to it. Maybe we'll see. I keep him as one of these interesting cards you can play in a future campaign.
Yeah.
He was around, and he's a vicious evil asshole. No,
Neutral evil's bad. Yeah. So.
oh yeah, yeah. He simply he wants to hold on to it, and he was true to his mission and kind of loyal to the Ivids and stuff, but completely deprived and now disillusioned man, so to speak, and might die from on the cause, so to speak. So we don't know what happens. But and I never thought about his kids, but now when you have that, I think it's really cool that he has a bunch of daughters. I think that
yes, no sons.
Yeah, exactly. Just 4 daughters or something.
Yeah.
That gives a lot of interesting possibilities. I think that was a great idea. So I'll add that into my campaign. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I see him more as a very successful adventure that just was a slaughterer. Whether his whole rest of his party, where he killed them all with all the treasure at one point at the end, or just they went their separate ways. But there's
Vinny, he's such an interesting fellow that you can write. He can become very different things, whatever you want him to be in your campaign, so to speak. So it's
definitely a cool little. And once again, it is 1 paragraph.
Yeah, and I think that's excellent in lore. It's excellent to do it that way because that leaves a lot of openings for the individual DM to run it, so to speak. A couple of paragraphs, and I think that's a brilliant way of presenting it. You give some hints and stuff without fleshing everything out.
Yep. Excellent. Anna, you want me to jump to Mike again?
Oh, yeah, please.
All right, I think we got our last round here. So, Mike, hit us with something cool.
Well, I would
great.
talk about my old warbands and mercenaries, but all you have to do is go on Best of Greyhawk, Worth Journal 19, or Worth Journal 30. They're all over there. Yeah, they're in there. Look them up. Good. No, I got one. That I'm gonna. It's a stretch, but I'm just gonna throw out for fun for my good friend Troy.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to count this as underwater mercenaries.
Oh, cool.
All right. Slavers. Mm-hmm. Slavers.
Yes.
They're the underwater village of, let's see here.
I know where you're going.
Narradive.
Yes.
The Malente. And
the mutants.
They try to keep to themselves, but they do cooperate with the orcs of Cantona. To pester ships and take them out or whatever. So, and it says that they trade for metal weapons and things, with information. In a way, they could be mercenaries, I guess. They are kind of skilled at what they do. They look like sea elves. They can infiltrate. They can earn the trust of unwary human sailors.
There we go.
When I was trying to think of something aquatic related to mercenaries, my mind kept going to pirates, but then I remembered in slavers, there's, these Malenti. I love.
Definitely mercenary, right?
Yeah.
So.
Potentially, yeah.
First time ever that they appeared. I don't know how I got this. I'm not going to tell you. You can figure it out. I ran this a few years ago when Sean Reynolds gave me. Sean Reynolds somehow got to me Crossbows and Crossbones, which was the prelude to Slavers that was at Gen Con. And there are 2 Malenti in this adventure that he put in. This is the first time they ever appear.
Damn.
Is right here. And Malenti right there. The 2, they're 4. Get the Sea Elves agree to come back later. They call them Sea Elves, even though they're not. So there's your first appearance of the Malenti from this this prelude adventure. That does it say the year on this? 2000. RPG Adventures Guild Adventure, Link to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, Greyhawk Adventure, Slavers.
2000.
Yep. So, see you there, Curtis. Yeah, really cool. Yeah, that's a good one because it's funny how many of them there are, Mike, when you think of, it says in a lot of the Sahagwan ones, they immediately kill mutants. So how did so many of these mutants get out there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Slavers says that they use them for suicide missions. So they send the Malenti, into a Sea Elf community. And I guess the Malenti is supposed to just start killing or something. I don't know, or maybe they come back with information, but then like you say, they supposedly kill them outright. I prefer that they are used, and I think in particular to this community in slavers, it says that they were sent on missions, but then they're deserters basically.
Well,
'Cause
look
it
at
says
this. They worship Zerbo.
right, if they were found out by the Sahagwin, then they would be executed
Mhm.
because they were traitors to their culture and
Yeah.
everything.
That they are priests of Zerbo. That's interesting.
Which makes them perfect fodder for mercenaries, I would think.
And they're
If
Sea Devils is another place you can find them.
I mean theoretically
Orphans.
they could be neutral. They could work for Hardby if they wanted, I suppose. Depending on their motivation, because they don't want to be lumped in with their kind.
That's a cool, and if you want to go even further, you have Mike, your idea in A1 and in this one you have Aspis, right? The Aspis could be considered that as well as mercs for them too, right? For the slavers
Yeah, it's
here.
like what?
Yeah.
Why are they working? Yeah.
Yeah. So, once you said, Wayne Reynolds is all over this one. Yeah, very good. All right. So lastly, I'll go homegrown.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go homegrown. Lastly,
Cool.
For mercenaries, all over Altamira has a ton of groups. All of these, for the most part, are player character groups, with a few exceptions. So this Ulick Defenders Against Slavery, it's a lot of high-level Knights of Ulick. They never had a name. So when we started first adventuring, we never named our groups, and we said we get them all confused. We need to name everything. So every group has a name at this point. That's kind of because they ran the Slavers Adventures, and that's why we call them that. Then we have the Night Stalkers, Huntsmen, the Omega Patrol, the worst named group ever. Tim. The Reborn, Theo's Heroes, and here comes Edge Group 2 Drink Minimum.
Yay.
Then the Slav Squad is on here. Look, the Fighters of the Light in Altamira. They're everywhere. They breed everywhere. Another group, the Windborn. Does anyone know what this stands for?
Nope.
Phantom NJ's not on, or he'd know, because he named him. The DFCC. This is Mike Disney's group of adventurers that I do on Saturdays now. The Dual-Fisted Comeliness Checkers.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
The DFCC, because that's all they ask is what's everyone's comeliness is. Yes. So there you go. That's the DFCC, and then the Altamiran forces. They're always that's all NPCs. A lot of them are dead. So, but there you go. A lot, as you can see, the evolution of the city. I don't think I can fit all these in the box set because I think that this alone would take up 50 pages. So I'm going to have to synopsize some of them. But Dwarven Fighter Constitution checks. Yes. Well, there are 2 dwarves in the group. But all the other characters are all always asking comeliness. So I imagine we'll have a lot of that question tomorrow night too during the stream. So, and note, this just scratches the surface. Like I said, what is a mercenary? What is an adventuring party? Semantics, but just note that the adventuring party is the key to all adventuring, running campaigns in Greyhawk. Note one last thing, there's different styles of adventuring groups. We've got it so I know this West Marches term appeared like 5 years ago, mostly Forgotten Realms. Anyone can come in, right? I don't know if that's the right way.
No, but you run kind of a little bit. Yeah, exactly. You run it's towards the West Marches style, I think.
Right, it is, Anna, but we do it where we have a pool of characters that all interact with each other, but so that I don't have to cancel streams or in games.
Yeah,
you can pull there's usually 3 characters, and they can pull from 2 or whatever, and it works. So
And
if
you
I have
also
one guy
run,
out,
meaning you usually start and end an adventure per session, so to speak. You don't end in the middle of the dungeon and then you continue
with special
same.
groups, with
Yeah,
special
okay.
groups, with my
Yeah,
regulars on Thursday, it could go 2, 3, 4 weeks depending.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with special groups, absolutely, because
Yeah.
we get together every 3, 4 months, 2, 3,
Oh,
4
exactly.
months,
You
and you
can't.
lose
Yeah.
track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like running
Yeah,
a
it's like
con.
me. 12 sessions later, we're still stuck in the same spot. Or
Yeah,
15 session.
Jeff, that's so tough though to do in in a Greyhawk setting, going from war to war, hitting the occasional dungeon in between. I mean, it's cool for an NPC. I mean, I imagine you can make an NPC group like that.
You can do it, but then
Kelly's
you will
Heroes.
assume that it's like, yeah, exactly. You will assume
That's a
that it's
one
like
shot.
6.
They're a
Yeah,
one
but
shot
you
group.
can have one shots every 6 months or something like that. You assume that there are months in between.
good.
You can even run a campaign where you have
Good one.
missions, short missions, or day in a battle or something every session, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let me throw as I'm throwing up here. What do we got going on, Anna and Mike? Who wants to do shout outs first here?
I don't have, well, I'll try and stream on Friday. I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff. So thank you so much. Reached out to me when I posted my first GIS sneak peek on the upcoming version. I got a lot of praise for that one. And I think it looks much better. And I have a bunch of other stuff I'm working on right now that I promised a long time ago. Now it's actually coming. I'm not going to detail it yet. But it will trickle out very soon, I hope. So it's a lot of things that I promised a long time ago. Now I can actually start delivering.
Awesome.
So very soon. So yep. Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool.
Yep.
Are you on? Did you say you're on Friday night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you on Friday night too?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yep.
No.
I was just because I don't want to compete with
No.
Greyhawk
I
streamers.
don't think I have anything this weekend coming up.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, awesome. That's good to hear.
Yep.
Excellent. Mike, what's going on, man?
Well, if you go on Greyhawkery, you may have already seen this on the Discord if you follow the Grey Discord. But on Greyhawkery, I threw out a letter I had wrote to Dragon Magazine that got published way back in the day.
Oh,
so
wow.
Check that out. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, next week I'm out of town for a work conference.
Mm-hmm.
So no Mike next Thursday.
We do have someone filling in for Mike. We do, fortunately or unfortunately, but Mike will be missed next week, and we got an Anna-centric discussion next week. So, but Mike, enjoy.
There will be a part. This one was not so much for me. Next
one I'll be very quiet for the next one.
And I'm working on a lot of sketches for that one. Hopefully, I can have them done and published by then. So, yep.
But tonight's topic is giving me definitely some writing ideas.
Yeah.
I might not necessarily take on that 5 shall be one. That's why I threw that out there to the community. If someone else wants to go for it, do it. But I have some other ideas just from this topic that I could explore. So stay tuned.
I think the best thing anyone can do is take your group of adventurers, and even if it's just an RP encounter, run them in with another group of adventurers. Just have them sit there and have them maybe flex their muscles a little bit, or get into a bar brawl, or just mine's bigger, or my girlfriend is more attractive than yours, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's always fun. Rivalries building up a rivalry can be a good thing. We do that. I do that a lot of times in my games. I have those nuisance NPCs, I call them, that are just there just to annoy the characters and try to provoke a reaction. So.
See, you want them to be murder hobos too? Yeah.
No, I want to not murder her. I want them to, get thrown in jail or something. That kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, all right, this is what's going on. By the way, thanks for everyone's support there. Like I said, I'll be okay. Personally, things are moving along. I'll let you know if anything, it doesn't, but things are okay right now. Tomorrow night. It's not an old crotchety white guy around a table night tomorrow night. It's just 2 of my regular players I'm not even telling you who they're playing because, as I said, this goes deep into. I haven't done this in a while. Deep into what's going on in the Free City of Altamira lore. So this is pre-box set stuff if you're interested. There's faction rivalries going to be going on in this one. Post-joust celebration. So Little Bones is playing. Here, let me throw these out here real quick so you know the 4 base characters you're going to see, not counting my players because I don't want to give that away. You're going to see Bones playing the Grand Champion Legend Lady Isarel, 7th level Elven Cavalier. Heather Hex playing Viriel, the champion. Another 2 Elven Cavaliers, the same level. Who would have ever thought that would have happened, right? From that article. We got the legendary Darling Creepshow playing her favorite character now, Molly Hatchet, the 8th level barbarian style fighter. Yes, and then Little Bird's playing Lergia, her Clark Mage. So there you go. 3 fighters and a spellcaster. Going to be a fun time. So note, it'll be at the Violet-Eyed Lady. It'll be a fun time. The post-joust celebration. It'll be late night. Everything's closed, but this one inn. So look for it. Enjoy. Participate. Help the DM. Help them. Whatever you want to do tomorrow night. It'll be a one-shot, but it'll be a lot of RP early on, which is cool. I'm going to let them go at it, but then something's going to happen that you're going to get in and say, "Oh, Altamira is not this wonderful place." You'll see. You'll see what's gonna. It'll be a fun one. Now, I don't know what I'm doing for Gabbins the next 2 weeks. I'm working on that, but next week. So we definitely have one Sunday night. Next week, Carlos is on. Carlos will be coming on with Anna and me for Fortifications of Greyhawk. That sounds like a cool one.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah.
This is Carlos's idea. What's that, Mike? I'm sorry.
That's what I would get into.
Yeah, I'm sorry about it. Carlos is like, do you want to do this? And I'm like, sure. So yeah, so Fortifications of Greyhawk. Carlos is idea on that one. Anna loves it too. I'm gonna sit back and just enjoy and absorb it.
You will get into some castle design.
Very possible.
Too. You never know. Yeah.
Very, very possible. I do this as a joke. The Halloween special is Children of the Corn Holio. So instead of Children of the Corn, you get the idea. Just a joke on that. But no Overgourd this year because I did one just recently. So we're going to go this route. Bill has been working on a lot of Christine Van Patten new minis when she was on. If you remember the creative jam we had, she showed all this great stuff for Halloween. Well, we got all of it, and Bill's painting it all up. So we're gonna be it's gonna be a cool adventure. So there may be TPs, and yes, you never know, Bane, what's gonna show up in this one. So it sounds like a red cap. You will see. So that'll be next Thursday. And then that week's not done because Saturday morning, Tim just recently, Virtual GrandCon 4, the Reverse Dungeon people are back with Tim DMing, and the title of that's Visitors. So everyone but Alex is playing from the original group that showed up at Virtual GrandCon 4. So that's bright and early again, 7 a.m. Saturday, October 28th. So yes, it'll be fun. It'll be a good one. I'll just sit back and produce it, and that'll be coming up. That'll be next Saturday. So we got a lot going on the channel. Gabbins too. William Henry Dvorak, if he can make it, is working on a topic. If he's going to be in them for Sunday, Anna. So I'm
cool.
working with Will on a topic. Yep. So that's enough for now, isn't it? Any other fire comments here? It was a nice discussion. Really a fun one.
Yeah, I can mention one thing. On Saturday, I'm playing in a birthday game that I think will be streamed.
For Chantel.
Yep.
Chantel's playing a Shadow Mage, my class.
Okay. Yep. So I'm one of the players in that game.
Excellent.
I forgot the exact time, but I think it's on Carlos' channel. I think
it's like 6 or 7 p.m.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd make sure you're there for that. So,
yep.
Time wise, yes. So, okay. I had to get a lot of my notebooks to reference to this one for all the topics we were discussing, which is really cool. Here's a lot of the options for tonight. Reprints: Drow the Underdark, Baba Yaga's Hut, Lost City, Shokanth, Castle Amber. One of the corners is folded on that though. Isle of Dread. All right. I got Deep Dwarven Delve, Treasures, of course, Border Watch, A Mordenkainen's Fantastic Adventure, a Fiend Folio. There you go. Hopefully you guys remember that list. Let's see who wins. If you're outside the continental United States, we'll give you Troller Game GCs that I have too. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, we're going to be doing a box opening tomorrow. We're going to Patrick sent us a box, and I've been sitting on it for 2-3 weeks, so we're going to open that tomorrow. Yeah,
okay.
all a goodie box.
Oh boy.
Close the winner tonight. Jobri. I saw Jobri just talking recently. Jobri on. Yes, there you go. Coffee. Yeah. All right, Jobri, you tell me what you want out of all that. All right. So, grats. Good to see. We got to throw someone else in there who doesn't win that regularly. That's a good thing. So, and Tim Enoch, hopefully you like all your books. He was the grand prize winner for Virtual GrowCon. They showed a picture on Cannon Fire of all those 25th anniversary reprints he got there. So, Jobri, if you don't have, I always say if you don't have Treasures of Greyhawk, it's great because it's so many different adventures in it. But like, just tell me, if you want an old school one or whatever, just whisper it to me. Who are we rating into tonight? I didn't even look yet. Is Stella running her Patreon? It's Frost Maiden, though. Frost Maiden's not Greyhawk, is it? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I may, all right, I'll write it as Stella. Why not? All right. Sounds good. Any final thoughts?
Oh, this was good. Yep, I
Good.
needed it
Very
definitely.
satisfying.
Yep. So
Good.
thank you guys. Yep.
Full name. 1 second here. Okay. See you all tomorrow night. It starts. I have a 7:00 start time instead of 7:30. That doesn't mean it's going to start on time, but I'm just going to try and get people together. The earlier I get together, the longer I can let them RP and have at each other. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So I want it to be a fun adventure tomorrow night. So my guys may be a little late. We may start at 7. So note that you won't miss too much if you hit it at the regular 7:30 start time. All right. See you all tomorrow night. Have a good one. Thanks. Raid coming in.
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun. Awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you tomorrow night. Hope you have a good night. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
She's on a break.
Uh-oh.
It always happens.
Well, yeah. At least he responded.